Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we are reacting to Jennifer Lopez's Guide to Glowing Skin and Face Contour from Vogue Beauty Secrets. So just before we get into that, say if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Robert. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube and also in real life. So my goal is to help you become a pro yourself or just someone who's really good at makeup. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, do please consider subscribing. And as I always say on these reaction videos, creativity and individuality have no rules, but makeup most definitely has a theory. And these videos are looking at theory and how we can implement them into skin makeup and makeup routines. And it's always nice to look at celebrity and just see what they're doing, you know? Jennifer Lopez, known for her glowing skin, J-Lo Glow, that's what I'm trying to say. What's J-Glow? Her perfume? I can't remember. Okay, I'll leave a link to the original video down below so you can watch the whole thing, as this is going to be a little bit broken up.
Hey guys, Jennifer Lopez here. I'm very excited. I'm about to walk you through my dewy makeup look and also my skincare routine that preps my skin for my dewy.
She does have makeup on already. Or a filter. I think it's a filter because the hair looks really like soft, like it's going into, you know, and there's no definition between her hair and the thing. So let's take this whole thing with a pinch of salt. We can't watch something with a filter. We can't exactly appreciate it for its honesty, can we?
I also like to say a little bit of an affirmation. I am in perfect health always. My family is in perfect health always. I am youthful and timeless at every age. My life is full of abundance, joy, and
I'm youthful and timeless at any... I'm going to start saying that. I'm going to start saying that. And I will believe it one day.
First thing, cleanser. I use the J.Lo Beauty Cleanser. It's called that hit single because I have to wear so much makeup.
Here's a question, right? Do you believe that celebrities who release a skincare line actually use their skincare in real life? Because I don't think they do. I think they know the basics and they might use it on camera, but there are luxury brands and treatments that I think they would be using over their own skincare. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just an in my head like guess.
Up all the time and reapply it all day long. Something that really just washed and cleansed my face in a beautiful way. I've always had a very simple skincare routine, and J.Lo Beauty was very much about that. I always kind of just was like cleanser, a little bit of a cream, sunscreen.
The filter's hurting my eyes a little bit. It looks like, you know, like back in the day when you have the basic filters and it was like, we're gonna make you look like an art, like a piece of art, and it would do that, you know?
That J.Lo Glow Serum. You know, when I was young, my mom and my grandma, my aunts, they all had these kind of crazy beauty secrets. One was olive oil that actually we use, and we created the olive complex for this very product. But there were some other ones that were a little bit crazy, like mayonnaise in the hair.
Here's the thing about the J.Lo Glow was a look that was literally created with makeup, because it's on the body, it's on the face, it's like highlighters and things like that. So to make a skincare brand and be, I haven't looked into the brand itself, so I don't really know, and be like, this is how I got it, I don't think it's very truthful. I am just going to skip the skincare because although skincare is important to a makeup routine, I don't know anything about skincare, so I can't really comment.
The first thing I do is I do a little bit of concealer. Anywhere that you have a little bit, you see.
So this is a nice amount of concealer under the eye, and what I love especially that she's done here is she hasn't taken it up to the kind of, I don't know what it's called, like the eye crease. You see where her, literally it's the outline of her eyeball. She hasn't taken it higher up than that. So, and it is below where it can potentially crease. Makeup creases, it's skin, it's gonna crease, and until somebody invents, you know, a crease or something genuinely, then we're just gonna crease. So by applying most of a product there, she's actually reducing that risk, but also really covering where you are potentially the darkest, which is in these inside bits here and below here, where the skin is a little bit thinner. For me, sometimes it doesn't matter so much the darkness right up here because I always cover it with eyeshadow. Even if somebody doesn't want that much, I will concealer it and then put a bit of like flesh shadow on top or something like that. So it doesn't really matter that we're not covering that so much, but I love the positioning and the amount she's using.
Then I like to do a little bit of contour. And I take some of these darker.
That's the Bobbi Brown VBU palette, which I had in my kit. I had to get rid of it because I didn't use it for so long. So it's a whole range of foundations, and on the other side you flip it over and it's all concealers and correctors. This is actually a really nice formula, really beautiful. And if it is your own personal one, you can go on with a brush like that. If you're a makeup artist, you can use a spatula and sanitize. But it's nice to see the different options. I think it's really good not to, like, you don't have to, but to go in with more than one shade of foundation, which I very rarely do. Who has time, let's be real, when you're doing your own makeup. So it's nice to see all those options. Let's see what she does with a deeper contour, concealer, whatever it is. Foundation.
I mix them. I don't feel like I need to just use one. A little bit above my cheekbone. Before I used to go right here in the cheekbone, but now I realize that if I do it a little bit above, it lifts the face a little more.
Yes. It will lift. When we go right underneath the face, we're hollowing it out. We're doing this because we're hollowing out where our bones already exist. Contour is restructuring the bone structure. Yes. So by lifting it up and going just slightly above and taking it up this way, like she has, you're lifting because now you're creating an indent here instead of here. So it's making our cheekbones look higher and rounder. Nice.
Then I take a thinner brush like this with some of the lighter colors. I do a little bit of nose contour.
See, if I was to contour her nose, I wouldn't go right to the tip like that because she has a small tip. I would keep it just to the top half of her nose. You don't have to contour 2 lines down the middle of the nose like that. I'm sure that's going to look fine. But you can even see where her contour strips are starting here in the middle of her head. It's always nice to bring them from the brow and then into the position you want them to go into. Just because it needs to go somewhere. Again, contouring is restructuring the bone structure. Your nose physically comes from this area here and goes down. So we do want to follow the bone structure slightly, and then we can readjust as we come down to here. But I would have stopped halfway through the nose because her nose doesn't need contouring anyway. But if we were to do it, she has a nice tip of a nose. Like me, her nose is slightly wider here. Not the same nose, but a similar kind of wideness there. That's where I would do it, just here.
No, this is not supposed to be lip liner. This goes around the mouth, and if you blend it right, it'll...
Yeah, it's good to see somebody mixing up different techniques and adding it together. It's very interesting to see. This is a nicer way of doing it than when people are just going round the whole lip like crazy up to like around here with concealer. That looked ridiculous. Wow, already her skin looks really glowy. Again, the filter, I'm trying to ignore that there's a filter, but I just can't. Looks good, it looks nice. Her skin looks incredible anyway.
I have a lot of older kind of beauty icons like Sophia Loren and Verushka, Bridget Bardot, people like that. Like I love those kind of sexy, gorgeous, siren-y looks. Now I'm taking the lighter, the 20 and the 30, and going down the light parts of my face.
I think that's a really nice idea. That's a really good idea. And it's what people do a lot with concealer. But when you're doing it with foundation, it's lighter in terms of texture. And she has such a light hand, which I really, really like. It's not stabby and pokey. And it's really light strokes.
I take the larger foundation brush one more time, and I just kind of go over everything again, just to blend it all in. And I start going.
See, okay, so here's my problem sometimes with that the around the hairline ridge. You have to be really careful when you actually meet the hairline. And I do this a lot on my beard because I'm not going anywhere. But you have to be careful that it isn't just stopping and getting caught up in like the first row of hairs. But you can see you really need to go in. I would grab like an eyeshadow blending brush, maybe a tapered one like this perhaps, and just make sure I'm going along that hairline and really pushing that product even further back so it's not just stopping. It's an unblended line that you can't really blend because you can't get your brush into the hairline. A lot of makeup artists nowadays actually fix that hairline anyway with like a hair powder. So it's something that isn't noticeable, but if we weren't doing a hair powder to even out the hairline, then I would do that.
The next thing that I would do, just to define the eye just a little bit. This is a Tom Ford palette, and I take the brown because I like a very soft look. And I love playing with makeup. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love doing all kinds of makeup looks. You guys know that. You've seen me on the red carpet for years. And I just go along the top of the eye. I take the lighter color here. I feel like Bob Ross. Who's that guy who does the painting? Bob Ross. Just enough. And then
I love that she's hooked that product. This is what I was talking about with the contour. You see how she's taking her shadow and taking it round here into the nose almost? That's the line you want to follow with your contour. Because if that line was to continue down, if we were to blend some powder into that, it's really consistent. Makes it look smoother and it makes the shadow look more natural. The shadow we're trying to mimic from contour.
I like cream blush, especially when you get a little older.
What's that
So
one?
I take a little bit of this peach one. This one I used on my last movie that I just did. This brand is Beauty Blender, and this one is Playful Peach. So I take a little bit again with my foundation brush.
I love that. I love how she is using a stippling brush or duo fiber. They're not really duo fibers anymore because they're all artificial, but where it's denser in the bottom and thinner on top, you're going to get more of a natural application. How soft she was, and just adding those little pinches, little touches of product. It's beautiful. Is she doing it on her chest?
Brush and just make sure your face matches your neck. This is a Marc Jacobs highlighter that I've just become obsessed with. I take a very thin brush. I would take my...
It's really nice to add. I don't know if you've ever seen me do what I call like my 3D highlight technique, which isn't my technique. I call it 3D highlight. Where you have like your bigger highlight and then you pinpoint those tiny bits with an even brighter highlighter. It makes it look like light is catching your skin even more so when you have beautiful, healthy skin.
So I actually learned this trick for my lips from TikTok or Instagram Reels or one of those things. They do a little line down here. This is a Makeup Forever pencil. I'm obsessed. It's my new fave. And then do the same thing. A little line right here. I really like these Fenty Beauty lip glosses. This peachy color. Now, if I feel like the rest of my face is a little pale, because sometimes it's darker and sometimes it's paler, I'll take the lighter pink one. I'm gonna get my Anastasia pencil. We all have imperfections in our eyebrows that we have to fill in, so I'm gonna fill in. I had a chicken pox right here back in the day. This eyebrow kind of stops shorter than the other one, so I just bring that out a bit. Yep, that's a Dewy J-Lo glow look. And then to finish it off, I take the finishing touch, Makeup Forever. I forgot my mascara. This is the most important part. Now, I can do a 5-minute version of this for you guys one day, but maybe I'll save that for when I come out with my makeup line. For the skin from here down, I mean, I couldn't be more glowy right now. Thank you. I love you guys. Have the most amazing day. Remember, I am magnificent and my life is full of joy, laughter, adventure, and love. Success and prosperity too. Put it all in there. Bye.
That was nice. That was really good. Her lips, that was stunning. That whole lip thing. When she said I got this from TikTok, I was like, oh my god, what's she gonna do? Really, really, really nice. I don't know what else to say. Some beautiful, beautiful um techniques. Really, it makes me want to try. I'm so oily though. It makes me want to try like a really glowy look, but I'm so greasy and so textured. You know, I can't say that when I don't actually take care of my skin. I should. I've been inspired to look after my skin, not with her products, but and it's great to see that she's learned from some great makeup artists and implements those things into her routine, and what a difference it makes. I think you can definitely see the difference between people who have their makeup done by loads of different people, and get all these little tips. It makes such a great concoction, you know, of knowledge. And then people who just stick to their own thing, you can always see a difference there. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. I would love to know your opinion on her makeup down below. Do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.